Ah, Nintendo. What's up, gamers? I'm Jay.
John.
Welcome to Jarithius Game Channel. This is J&J Game Talk. Over the next few weeks, we're going to be going over Nintendo, the original Nintendo Entertainment System, and some of the games that we grew up loving when we first got our system. All right, so the next game.
Yep. Conquest of the Crystal Palace was the next game.
Okay. Conquest of the Crystal Palace.
Conquest of the Crystal Palace.
What was that game about?
It was another RPG kind of game.
Okay.
It was side-scrolling, a lot like Simon's Quest.
Okay.
You were a warrior, and an evil man took over the Crystal Palace.
Okay.
You have a pet dog, or a guardian spirit dog, or something that looked like a dog.
It's a pet
and
something?
Well, it could talk, so I guess it was like a guardian spirit or something.
So wait, we're in Dragon Ball Z, huh? Animals
Yeah,
talk.
it looked a bit like that too.
Okay, so it's another JRPG.
Yeah. So you're a warrior. You have a little sword. The dog in the beginning explains a little bit about the evil king taking over the kingdom.
Right.
When you were a baby, and now you're grown up a bit, and you can fight him back. And then there's 3 orbs in front of you, and he says that they're the crystals, and you should take one with you.
All right,
So you pick one. There's one that ups your attacks, one that makes you jump higher, and the one that gives you more life.
Okay. So attack, defense, and skill.
Yeah.
Jump.
So yeah, and then it had. Besides, most of it went up, honestly.
The whole game was like climbing a mountain,
It was
basically.
like climbing a mountain.
And
Yeah. And so, you know.
So like the least fun parts of Mega Man.
Yes. So I didn't have as many problems in this one, jumping and falling down pits.
I don't think they threw as many nasty things at you in that one as they do with Mega Man.
So it wasn't one of those where you got to touch your foot just enough here to land just
Pixel
enough over
perfect.
there. And there were shops. There was like a girl that says hi and on the screen, and then you go in there and in various spots of the stage.
Right.
And she was a shop.
Okay.
You talk to her, and you could buy herbs to heal yourself, magic spells, dog upgrades, a whistle of something it gave you. So yeah, and then, the further you got, the more cool things you could upgrade with. And
Okay.
I do think you got to upgrade your sword.
All right.
Don't know. In the part that I
Was
saw,
it like
you just had a little
cooler?
stinky sword.
Was it a cooler upgrade, or was it like a bigger upgrade? You were eventually this little dude holding like, you know, a Buster sword. You're like, dude.
No, I don't think it was anything crazy like that.
Oh.
You did start with a little tiny dagger, but I think you did eventually get to like a katana and a slightly longer sword length. So you didn't have to be sitting on top of them to hit them. The spells came in really handy because you're short range with the sword.
Right.
And the dog came in handy for certain things too. I just haven't played it in a while, so I don't remember exactly what the dog did. In the one thing, he just jumped around the screen.
Right.
I think you could use him as a
decoy.
Clear a few things, decoy,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. The dog had upgrades too, so there were certain things the dog could do. I think you could do a little bit like what Mega Man could do with Rush, where you could do something and stand on him and get across a gap or something.
Gotcha. Cool.
So yeah, and it wasn't super complicated, but it was pretty long because it was just endless climbing and getting to...
Endless runner. No, endless climber.
Yeah.
So do you remember beating it?
I believe I did beat it with Game-Genie codes. I don't think I did it without cheating.
No.
No, they eventually throw so many things at you, it's kind of hard to stay alive.
Any of those games, any of the original Nintendo games, honestly, because Nintendo was kind of on another tier from Atari. Nintendo had like endings, it had credits, it had, you know, things you went through, and like a lot of the games actually had a finish. But to get there, because it wasn't an endless game, they made it so hard that you had to spend hours and hours at practice to get there.
Yeah,
like, it's just unbelievable.
So, yeah, and it was fun. I did like that game.
Cool. All right. So, The next one is Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. For those of you that may remember it, Mike Tyson won the heavyweight bout title and apparently cut a deal, and Nintendo or whoever produced that game made him the end boss. So it was called Mike Tyson's Punch-Out instead of just Punch-Out. But they reskinned it and put Mike Tyson in there, and so it's a boxing game. You are basically, you can't move anywhere but left or right. You're a little tiny dude. You're like a 4-foot tall dude in with 7-foot tall boxers, and that's not even a joke. Like, you come up to their belly button. You're so tiny. His name's Mac, and so you get into the round. It's Mario as the referee. It's really fun. It's really funny seeing them. The sound effects on it were really good. They really were for the time. It sounds like a crowd, even though they're using a chip tune to make all these sound effects. Like, it sounds like a crowd. You hear the bell. They got a little chime to play in. The first guy, Glass Joe, easy as can be. He's really the tutorial to it. You know that you can punch in the gut, left or right hand. You can punch in the face, left or right hand, like high. You can block, and you can dodge left and dodge right. Like, it's really simple. If you hit, what was it, start or select? I think it was select, because start, I think, paused your game. If you hit select and you had a star, he would like do a power punch, like just crush him in the jaw. You got stars by hitting them when they weren't blocking and weren't expecting it. Or when they were blocking, like say they blocked down here and you hit them up there, sometimes it would give you a star. So like when you made like a good decision or a special hit that they weren't expecting, you got a star. 3 or 5 stars or something like that. You maxed out on how many you could have. Normal boxing rules apply. You fall 3 times in a round, you're out. That's TKO. You have to knock them out 3 times in a single round. Rounds are 2 minutes, I think. Maybe 3. I can't remember.
I think they're 2 minutes.
Yeah, I think they were 2 minutes. There was a special cheat that you had to know about to make it work. Between rounds, if you were getting your butt whooped, you could smash the buttons. I think it was either A or B or both at the same time, over and over again for a few seconds. You got like 5 seconds to do it, and then you hit the start button, and your life would fill up a little bit. And sometimes if you were good or you hadn't done it, the more you do it, the less you get. But if you hadn't done it yet in the game, it would like whoop, so you could really give yourself an advantage going back out. So you face like Glass Joe, and then you face Don Flamenco, I think was your next one. But they did like little silly things, like they all had tells. So Glass Joe, I think would be like, come on, or he'd be like, you come on, like that, and then he would like try and swing at you really slow and pathetic, like you'd just be like, just clock him. I can't remember his name. No, there was a guy from India next, and he had a turban gem at the top, and his tell was his gem would blink before he tried to like quick jab you, poof, poof, and you had to either block that or get out of the way. If you blocked, you used up you had like an endurance counter in the corner that was hearts. If you blocked, you used that up the more times you blocked, and if you went to 0 on those hearts, you turned pink, and you couldn't block, you could only dodge. So like now you're in the schnitzel, like you're like, like you can't do anything but like left, right, no. Well, I can't remember his name. God, that's gonna kill me. I think they called him the Great Tiger or something like that. The Bengal Tiger was his nickname. His father was a magician, so he had a quick trick where after you beat him up a little bit, he would like jump to the left, jump to the right, back up, and then he would crouch down and go whoop, 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 and he would disappear. And he would peer in a circle, and he would come up and punch you in the face, punch you in the face, punch you in the face, and he would just be going around real quick, so you had to block 2, 3, either 3 or 4 times consecutively. 1, 2, 3, I think it was 3. And after that, he would stand there and go, because he was dizzy from going in circles. And you were like, what? And you just knock it, you laid him out. So each round, there was basically there was 3 belts. It was like a lightweight, a midweight, and a heavyweight belt. You would go through, it might have been 4. I might be lying. It might be 4 belts, and 3 or 4 guys for each belt. After each belt was done, you got a code. You got a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Yeah, you got a 9-digit code, I think it was. It would show him running in like New York City, like Rocky, you know, would run in Philly. He would be running, and his trainer was behind him on a bike, really heavy, fat dude, behind him on a bike chasing him. And he was training in there, and as the, like, it would show the New York City Harbor and the Statue of Liberty, and then all, like, it would show the New York City Harbor and the Statue of Liberty, and then it would kind of like break into nighttime as that happened, like the sun was setting as he was running, and as the sun set, your code would come up. So that was another game like Mega Man where like, ooh, saved my progress. What's the code? What did you get last night? Did you beat it? What did, you know, like you tried to figure out, you swap codes. Who got the better code? What was the good code? And it would get you to past each belt or to each belt with your record intact. And the numbers would change if your record changed. If you knocked everybody out in the first round in a TKO, you had a different code than somebody who knocked everybody out in the second round with a TKO. Like it was different for each one. If you got knocked down and you did not
mash the buttons.
Yeah, if you did not try, you didn't get up on your own. You had to like spam them buttons as fast as you could.
10 times as hard for you to get up as it was for them to get up.
Oh my goodness, was it? The only one that had a hard time and didn't get up was King Hippo. And he was this really fat boxer that blocked almost everything. He was a really fat dude, and it was King Hippo, and he had a crown on. And he would come out and like hop, and the ring would bounce. He'd be like pop, 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 pop. And basically, he would sit there and he would back up, and his tell was he was about to do this. So he would back up and then like lunge forward. If he hit you, he took off a good chunk of your life. He was strong, but he was a fat John. Like he was huge. And if you got him in the face when he did that, he would block and then do it again real quick. But if he did that and you hit him in the stomach at just the right second, like there was like a half a second in there where you could hit him in the stomach, he would go, ugh. And you'd hit him in the stomach and he like dropped his pants over and over, go, oh, 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 oh. And he would stop and like recover. And like you had to wait for that around. You could not beat him any other way except hitting him in the belly button. The belly button had like 2 Band-Aids. It had like 2 Band-Aids and an X, exactly where you're supposed to punch on his stomach. And if you knew that, you could knock him out in the first round and he could never get up. You got one shot to, you could KO him the first round without a problem if you could get through that. You just had to know his pattern. So as you go up through the rounds, a couple of the guys repeat. Bald Bull repeats, Piston Honda repeats, and they get a little trickier. Piston Honda used to go like boom, boom, and then like later as you get him in the second set, he goes like boom, boom, like ow, God. Like you weren't ready for it. And Bald Bull does this like charge, like he backs all the way up and scrunches down, and then he like charges at you and like uppercuts you. In the first round, that's all he does. In the second one, he'll back up and do it like 3 more times. And you're like, because his hit would knock you out. So like you're terrified of him getting hit you. So as you get near the end and you beat them, belt after belt after belt, you get near the end. Now the last couple of guys I remember very distinctly, Sandman and Tyson, or Mr. Dream. I played the Mr. Dream version as well. Now, Sandman was tough. He would 2-hit you. Some of his punches would 1-hit you, but Tyson, every punch he did KO'd you. Like he would do a jab and be like, poof, KO. Like you're down. And yes, you could spam the buttons and get up, but after 2, I don't remember being able to get up against him. Like he didn't give you a 3 and out. 2, that was it. They were limiting what you could do.
Even with a turbo controller, I don't think that worked.
No, like, oh my gosh. Like, all right, so I literally had to beat Tyson with Game-Genie codes. And when I didn't do that and I beat it again later, I beat it on an emulator because it was dodge, save state. Load state, crushed. Load state. Dodge, save state. Punch, punch, crushed. Load state. I had to do that every dodge and every punch to get past him because I was terrible at trying it the second time. The first time, obviously, I was bad. I had to use Game-Genie, so it was pretty bad, but really, really fun game. Good graphics, great animations, good tells. Like, it was easy to find out what they wanted you to do and how they were going to show you. You just had to get used to it. I just really enjoyed that game. It brought a lot of memories of trying to ask my friends, can you please give me your code? I'm dying here. All right, well, that's all the time we had for this one, guys. Thanks for checking us out. Please hit the like button if you liked it. Give us a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, give us a thumbs down. Why not? Hit subscribe, click the notification bell, and we'll see all you guys next time. Thanks.
Sounds good. See you later.
Get over here.